Alright, so this is a study guide for the external anatomy of the pig heart. So in the pig, it would be oriented similar to this. This would be the anterior portion of the heart, the posterior portion of the heart. This would be the pig's right, the pig's left. So I'm going to point at a few of the structures later, and I'm going to have you identify them. But first, let's go ahead and go over all of them, and you guys can practice identifying them towards the end of the video. So as you can see, this heart was actually covered in a really thin membrane called the pericardial sac. And you guys can kind of see some of it's left over here. It wasn't completely peeled off yet. And that's to allow for the frictionless movement of the heart between the lungs. You guys can see here, this is one of the nerves that innervates the heart. And pretty simple to identify. Here is the right auricle, and the auricle is just one of the flaps where if you looked on the inside, the chamber of it would be the right atrium. Here we would have the right ventricle, pulmonary trunk, leading to so pulmonary trunk is actually going to split to the right and the left, and that'll lead to the right and left lungs. We have the left auricle, and therefore inside of it the left atrium, left ventricle, apex of the heart. You guys see these blood vessels right here. These blood vessels are going to supply blood and oxygen to the myocardial cells of the heart. And if those cells don't get nutrients because these are blocked for some reason, then those cells will die, and this is called a heart attack. So let's go ahead and take a look at the posterior side. This one's kind of fun. You have this huge vessel right here, very large. It is actually going to bring blood back from the lower portion of the body, and this would be the inferior vena cava. It leads into the right atrium here. And that means this would be our superior vena cava, also leading into the right atrium. Into the left atrium, we're going to have the pulmonary veins. Here's one really noticeable one. As you can see, when I put it in the probe in there, you can kind of see the left atrium bulging outward. Aorta would be this huge vessel right here, the largest blood vessel actually in the body. This is the aorta, and when I put the probe in, it actually goes all the way down past the aortic semilunar valve and into the left ventricle. You probably can't see it, but I can feel it bulging right there. All right, so those are the basic features of the external anatomy. So let's go ahead and get started with naming. So I'm going to point out a structure, and you're going to name it for me, and then I'll say the answers. So go ahead and name this structure. That'd be the right atrium. Name. Right ventricle. Name. Left atrium. Name. Left ventricle. Name. Apex. Name. Coronary arteries and veins. Name of disease where it gets clogged and these myocardial cells die. Heart attack, or officially myocardial infarction. From the right ventricle. Name. Pulmonary trunk. Splits to the right and the left. Name of those vessels. Pulmonary arteries. Leads to which organs? Lungs. Comes back to the heart through the pulmonary veins. Enters into the right atrium. From the lower portion of the body, name, inferior vena cava. From the superior portion of the body, superior vena cava. Name of sac surrounding the heart, pericardial sac. For a fetus, one of the special features is a connection between the aorta and the pulmonary trunk. There's actually a little hole in between those two. What is the name of the structure that connects the pulmonary trunk to the aorta? Ductus arteriosus. All right, that's it. Make sure you study those parts for the final.